1987. The Cold War was cooling off, MTV was in full swing, and hair was big. But the sound was even bigger. From gritty guitars to synth-laced ballads, this was the year rock carved out some of its most unforgettable anthems. These weren't just songs. They were cultural firestorms, blasting through radios, echoing in stadiums, and tattooing themselves into our memories. So buckle up as we rewind the cassette tape and dive into 10 unforgettable songs from 1987 that rocked the world and still refuse to fade away. 1. Bon Jovi, Livin' on a Prayer. Although "Slippery When Wet" dropped in 1986, "Livin' on a Prayer" exploded in '87. The song that turned Bon Jovi from rising stars into rock gods. Tommy and Gina's story wasn't just a lyric. It was the working-class anthem of the decade. With Richie Sambora's talk box guitar riff and John Bon Jovi's soaring vocals, it became a timeless rally cry for anyone hanging on by a thread, but still holding on. 2. Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle.
In 1987, Appetite for Destruction introduced the world to a dangerous new flavor of rock. Welcome to the Jungle wasn't just a song, it was a declaration. Axl Rose's scream, Slash's chaotic solos, and the raw LA street grit made it one of the most explosive debuts in rock history. The jungle they talked about wasn't fiction, it was the real, unforgiving world of sex, substance, and hard rock. 3. Whitesnake, Here I Go Again. Originally released in 1982, Here I Go Again was re-recorded in 1987 with a new glam rock polish, and it worked. It climbed all the way to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. With David Coverdale's bluesy voice and that iconic chorus, it became the ultimate soundtrack for anyone starting over, broken-hearted or not. And let's be honest, who could forget Tawny Kitaen on the hood of those Jaguars? 4. The Cure, Just Like Heaven. 1987 saw The Cure release Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, a sprawling, eccentric, and brilliant album. And Just Like Heaven, that's the crown jewel. Dreamy, melancholy, and drenched in emotion, it showed that Robert Smith could be as pop as he was goth. It's no surprise it became one of their most beloved songs, even beyond alternative fans. 5. Depeche Mode, Strange Love.
From the album Music for the Masses, Strangelove was Depeche Mode's way of pushing electronic rock into darker, deeper territory. It was seductive, industrial, and totally ahead of its time. This was synth-pop with an edge, the kind that made Depeche Mode legends and laid the groundwork for the electronic movements of the 90s. 6. U2, With or Without You. Technically released in March 1987, With or Without You was the first single from the Joshua Tree. And it changed everything. U2 shed their post-punk skin and emerged as spiritual rock visionaries. Bono's aching voice, the Edge's signature delay-driven guitar. This wasn't just a love song. It was a cry for meaning in a world full of contradictions. 7. George Harrison, Got My Mind Set on You.
I got my mind set on you.
From the Cloud 9 album, this was Harrison's final #1 hit, and what a joyful noise it made. Produced by Jeff Lynne of ELO fame, it blended old-school rock and roll with that unmistakable late 80s shine. Who knew a cover of a 1962 song would become such a hit for a former Beatle? 8. Dinosaur Jr., Little Fury Things.
Far from the pop charts, in the underground, You're Living All Over Me by Dinosaur Jr. was shaking walls and melting minds. Little Fury Things was raw, distorted, and intensely emotional. A sonic storm that defined what alternative rock would become in the 1990s. J Mascis didn't need flashy image. Just noise, soul, and one hell of a guitar tone. 9. The Bangles, Walk Like an Egyptian.
Walking like an Egyptian. The Japanese, they and the party boys call them Gremlin.
Sure, it wasn't pure rock, but you couldn't escape this song in 1987. It topped the Billboard year-end Hot 100 chart, and the Bangles became queens of quirky cool. With its catchy beat, strange lyrics, and irresistible hand motions, it was a party track that became an international phenomenon. 10. George Michael, Faith.
Baby, I know you're asking me to stay. Say please, please, please don't go away.
Okay, it's more pop rock than hard rock, but Faith brought edge, confidence, and swagger. Released in October '87, it was George Michael's bold breakaway from Wham, and it left no doubt, he was a solo star. That infectious guitar riff, the leather jacket, the moves, Faith wasn't just a song. It was a vibe, a revolution, and a style all its own. 1987 was more than a year. It was a turning point. From glam rock peaks to the seeds of grunge and electronic expansion, it was a melting pot of sound and identity. These songs didn't just define a year. They defined generations. So whether you're headbanging to Guns N' Roses, swaying to The Cure, or strutting like an Egyptian, one thing's for sure. These tracks still live on, louder than ever. If you enjoyed this walk through rock history, hit like, subscribe, and share the love for the legends that shaped 1987. This is Rock Fame Diaries, and we'll keep bringing you the stories behind the songs that changed the world. Until next time, keep the volume loud and the memories louder. God bless.